What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and if you're seeing this video in the 5 o'clock hour, that means I'm still waiting for YouTube to approve my response to a horrible lie-filled article that targeted Young Clean Prince Gaming, like Legacy Kill HD, Downward Thrust, and others, just like the CNET article did. I really want to get that one out there, but I know for a fact if YouTube hits it with that yellow sign, it won't share it out as often, and it doesn't seem to send it to subscribers. So I'm filming this backup video now, but it's still good news. So I hope that you're having a great day, and if you are, please remember to click that thumbs up button below the video and leave a comment down below. It helps new people find the channel, and it's very, 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 very much appreciated by me. Now, Randy Pitchford has had a long and illustrious history of doing horrible things, whether it was leaving a thumb drive of company secrets, including videos of, I don't know what you might call it, a squirter as a magic trick, leaving that at a Renaissance dinner, Renaissance fair, restaurant type place, or it was, you know, his hilarious magic trick going awry during the Borderlands 3 announcement, and many other things. But the biggest specter hanging over Randy Pitchford is the theory or the story around the missing $12 million. Now, if you've been following this for a long time, you know that there have been accusations going around that Randy took a $12 million bonus and ultimately funneled that into either his own company or his own pocket, and lawsuits were then put together, and News Shoot, which is totally not Nick Monroe, has been covering this. By the way, I've reached out to Nick to see if he'll join the Exclusively Games team. It's looking positive for that, so good news there. So former Gearbox employee provides proof Randy Pitchford diverted funds to personal company. New documents in the suit filed by Wade Callender, former Gearbox corporate counsel, against Randy Pitchford back up a claim that Randy Pitchford diverted studio money to a personal company. A new filing in the ongoing legal struggle between former Gearbox corporate counsel Wade Callender and studio president Randy Pitchford provides evidence for one of the suit's most damning accusations. In late 2018, Pitchford sued Callender over a series of financial matters that included allegations that he misused company credit cards for personal expenses and destroyed evidence related to home loan funded by the studio. There was a weird, I don't know why the studio would have ever given him money for a house. I mean, if you're that high up in the company, I would assume you make enough money anyway, but regardless. Then he countered a month later in December 2018, preventing a salacious account, the USB drive full of prawn and sensitive corporate documents left by Pitchford at Medieval Times restaurant. Well, we now know it was a Waterworks video by someone who is just 18 years old, but he claims it was a magic trick, and he just was keeping it on that thumb drive for the magic trick. Now, if you don't remember, that thumb drive was actually found and accessed by somebody who worked at Medieval Times. They had access to secret company information, and they ended up trading it back for some Gearbox products or something like that. Not that the kid didn't probably download everything anyway. Nonetheless, 2K Studios, as well as Randy Pitchford himself, have basically always said, well, this is a disgruntled ex-employee. And then there was allegations last month that he pushed a voice actor in some sort of argument in a hotel lobby. Randy Pitchford has a long and spotted history of basically just screwing everything up. He doesn't have a lot of goodwill, which is curious because today he was retweeting some fake good news to try and divert away from this, but we're going to cover this anyway because that's what we do. And you, the viewer, who have probably already liked the video and left a comment, is probably going to share it because people need to know who they're supporting when they buy Borderlands 3. And I know a lot of you, a big portion of my viewers, have said, look, I don't care about Randy Pitchford. I'm still buying Borderlands 3. That's actually, I mean, not that you care or that you should care about my opinion, but that's, of course, totally fine. I've always said, above all else, life is short, and if you want to play a game that you like, and, you know, it's the same for when I talk about the Epic Game Store. If you want to play the game, you like the game, that should be number one first and foremost because, like I said, life is short. Anyway, Again, quote, the allegations made by disgruntled former employee are absurd with no basis in reality or law, the studio told Kotaku. That was 2K. We look forward to addressing this meritless lawsuit in court and will have no further comment at this time. However, on June 12, 2019, Calendar's attorney submitted a new 76-page filing that includes an amendment of the Borderlands 3 contract between Gearbox and 2K, originally dated November 29, 2016, that references the $12 million plus another $3 million for remaining Gearbox core founder and chief financial officer Stephen Ball. Now, there was what makes this particularly aggravating is what I'm told is that this money was supposed to go to as bonuses to Gearbox employees, or they had some sort of percentage share of that, which they never got because he swiftly hid the money. The contract amendment includes a clause titled bonus for satisfaction and dedicated executive requirement. This clause states that developer Gearbox Software LLC, as defined by the contract, is eligible for a recoupable $15 million bonus. In other words, upon satisfaction of the terms, publisher 2K Games would pay out $15 million to Gearbox, split into 3 payments of $5 million each. These funds were earned by Pitchford and Ball in their roles as Gearbox employees. 2K Games very much wanted Pitchford and Ball involved in the project. The clause ties $15 million to the 3 key development milestones, including release to master, or what is commonly called going gold. Their accusations toward the development of successive Borderlands 3 and their personal engagement for 30 hours per week. The word recoupable is important because it indicates the bonus was part of 2K's funding for Borderlands 3 development, and like most publisher expenses, must be paid back by the way of royalties after the game ships, right? So you're giving them $15 million, then they're going to take a certain percentage of each copy since they're the one publishing it. In Calendar's original complaint, he alleged misappropriation of funds. In his most recent amended petition, he and his attorneys have provided both the original contract clause and the amended to the bonus for satisfaction dedicated executive requirement. The March 1st, 2017 amendment authorizes 2K Games to divert Pitchford's $12 million recoupable bonus to his personal company, Pitchford Entertainment Media and Magic. The document, which is redacted, does clearly bear both signatures for Gearbox and 2K representatives. In addition, the latest amendment specifically points to the Gearbox, and we're going to go through, I'm going to show you the actual documents too. This is really good coverage by GameDaily.biz, and I'm not going to archive this. This seems like a worthy read. Anyway, however, because the clause is written to specifically name Pitchford and Ball, a case could be made that he earned those funds directly. It was likely Randy negotiating the agreement directly, so that brings up its own concerns, especially if the plan was always for Randy to receive $12 million. Hogg continued. In fact, if he weren't in functional control of the company, I wouldn't doubt that such a provision were in an agreement of this type, that he could go to his board and CEO and say, I deserve a portion or perhaps even all of such bonus. With new documents coming to light, Pitchford's attorney filed a motion to enforce a protective order on the parties previously agreed upon to protect confidential documents between Gearbox and 2K Games. Yeah, you wouldn't want this stuff coming out. The motion was denied, as Calendar's counsel pointed that the documents were not part of discovery and therefore could not be included in the protective order. Interesting. Now, Gearbox said, we don't discuss publicly the details of confidential business terms between 2K and our partners, blah, 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 blah. Now, NewsShoot points out some pretty interesting stuff in the actual legal documents I'm going to go through here, and you should follow at NewsShoot. Absolutely, because it's a great source for information. These are just some excerpts from the legal document. People are growing wise to Randy Pitchford's shtick, while Pitchford's attorneys feed misinformation to the press to attempt to convince people that Pitchford is the victim. Actual victims are coming forward to reveal Randy Pitchford's true nature. Here, people are growing wise, and that's part of the legal filing. Again, here, any action to Pitchford which negatively impacts Gearbox revenues and profits is direct harm to Calendar. This includes, but not is limited to, Pitchford's redirecting of over $12 million paid by Take-Two. Also, afforded Pitchford a personal secretive bonus of $12 million to be paid directly to Pitchford entity called the Pitchford Entertainment Media and Magic, LLC. This seems awfully scummy. Then on page 17, the court documents proof of the bonus being a thing in paragraph 1.6, which we already talked about. Then Pitchford did something unthinkable. Pitchford canceled the entire Calendar family's health insurance effective the next business day. Yeah, because he was angry, Pitchford did something unthinkable. Pitchford canceled the entire Calendar's family's health insurance effective the next business days. Because the Calendar family received no notice of this cancellation from Gearbox, it was only learned when Calendar's wife was unable to obtain her medication from her doctor. Come on, Randy. Seriously, dude? This just makes Randy look like a real prick. According to court documents, Randy Pitchford allegedly thinks of himself as Gearbox, as in some kind of human company hybrid. So when you're going to talk about Prawn, you're basically telling the world that Gearbox watches Prawn, and if you're the company, you're the company, right? So there's articles here. When you talk about Prawn, then you're basically telling the world that Gearbox watches it. Well, everybody watches it. I don't really, the fact that there was spicy videos on that thumb drive for Randy Pitchford is not something I'm going to make fun of him for, because everybody enjoys their own thing. What's really pathetic is that he is the president of the company, and he had confidential documents on there, which was then viewed by a waiter. Regarding the thumb drive, question, was it yours or Gearbox's? Randy Pitchford says one and the same, meaning he is Gearbox. Gearbox hereby requests the irrevocably authorizes 2K to pay Pitchford Entertainment, Media, and Magic any incremental bonus payment. All payments to Pitchford Entertainment, Media, and Magic pursuant to this letter will constitute payment to Gearbox. Essentially saying that we're going to pay the money out to this shell company, for all I know it is. And then, but it still counts as going into Gearbox. Sure seems like you're funneling money out of the company to me. And then obviously there's more and more in the actual original documents, which you can find at NewsShoot or in this article from GameDaily.biz. But just more great news on just how scummy Randy Pitchford really is. I'm really, really, really surprised. I continue to be shocked at just how low this dude will go. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I thank you for spreading it out there and helping the channel grow. We'll talk to you again real soon.